quite a lot of people have asked me about my take on the incidents in Japan, or more like the incidents at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. And the thing is, well, what we all know is that this earthquake happened. It was a really strong earthquake, and it caused the nuclear reactors to scram. So they safely shut off. But the problem is, once those reactors are shut off and the safety rods are inserted, there's still nuclear fission going on. So you will need to cool these reactors for weeks or even months until they are sufficiently cooled down to actually be safe. Well, and the problem is that at high temperatures, due to a reaction with the zirconium metal, which encases the uranium fuel pellets, the fuel rods, there has been a lot of hydrogen gas released, and you probably know from the Hindenburg or just experiments at school that hydrogen very easily explodes. So that seems what happened, at least at the Fukushima plant number 1, when we saw that explosion on well, depends where you live. Saturday where I live. But the thing is, what is really concerning me is that the explosion at the third reactor, which we saw today, well, a couple hours ago, whatever, Monday in my country, was like a much larger explosion, and I don't know, it seemed a lot more concerning to me. One important thing to note about the Chernobyl reactor was that it did not have a containment vessel like those reactors at the Fukushima power plant do have. Basically, in Chernobyl, they only had that building which you know saw explode. They just had a little bit of concrete around it, basically, and that just exploded. The same stuff happened at the Fukushima nuclear power plant, but the important thing to note is that the Fukushima nuclear power plant actually has additional reactor containment vessels that are really strong and can take a real lot before they actually take damage or explode. So yeah, I don't think it's impossible that it's still all sort of good and the reactors are not actually exposed or exploded, but it's really almost impossible to judge because all the information we get from the media is pretty much bullshit. You can hear that everybody is lying and making up stories. Because, for example, at one time they claim that it's really safe and the radiation levels are decreasing and whatever, and then all of a sudden they find an increased radiation at a nuclear power plant just 100 kilometers north of Fukushima, I think it was. I can't remember the name of the nuclear power plant, but like they measured increased radiation levels there, but then managed to track that back to Fukushima, so it didn't come from that reactor, but actually from Fukushima. And at the same time, they're claiming that there's no bad levels of radiation and not much radiation escaping at Fukushima. Just doesn't make sense. Same as obviously the U.S. aircraft carrier. What was the name again? The USS Ronald Reagan, I think it is, that is cruising just around the coast of Japan. Obviously measured increased levels of radiation too. Then again, from what I heard, they measured about 100 microsieverts per hour, so that doesn't necessarily suggest that the whole reactor blew up. It could have just been radioactive steam and stuff released, but the main point is it's all speculation. I really don't know what is happening there, because, well, nobody's gonna fill you in on that, unless somehow somebody else finds out. I don't know what. Probably the Americans with spy satellites. Really, fuck knows. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there either. I can just say that I'm pretty much concerned. Well, so what shall we do about the use of nuclear power all over the world? Well, for once I know that people in my country are now totally anxious. They're like, oh my god, we need to shut down all of our nuclear power plants immediately. They just want them gone by tomorrow best. Well, but just seriously, if any of you people thinks nuclear power plants should be shut down within the next year or so, just give it a little bit of a thought, please. I mean, come on. What if we... Okay, let's just take my country. Let's take Germany. What if we shut down all the nuclear power plants in our country within, say, the next 6 or 12 months? What will happen? We'll have an energy shortage. So does that mean we'll just get power blackouts and sit in the dark? Nope, we won't. The thing is, we can just buy power from other states within the European Union. So what does that mean in the end? We'll probably get our power from countries like France. You probably know France is really big on nuclear power. So if you decide, or if any of these political green parties decide to, I don't know, shut down the reactors in the very, very immediate future, you'll probably be sitting at home and go like, oh, I feel so safe now. The nuclear power plant has been shut down, and you'll just be paying like 5 euro cents more for your kilowatts hour and be really happy about it. But in fact, you're just making a fucking fool out of yourself by buying the nuclear power from another country, from France. Mixed with other power, of course, but there will be nuclear power in your mix. So you just make a fool out of yourself, basically. So what are we supposed to do then? Shouldn't we shut down all power plants in all of Europe immediately? Well, then we would actually have the problem that Japan currently has. We would be short on power. We would have to shut down our industry, and we would experience great power outages. Like, people would have to live with, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 hours of power a day and not 24 hours of power a day. Who would want to do that, seriously? I mean, when the stuff in Japan happened, guess what I did? I went home, I turned on the TV, I booted up my computer to check on internet radios, on Twitter, all of that stuff. Because it was rather cold, I also set on my water boiler, which uses 1000 watts to boil water. It's really fast. And I made myself some nice tea. Also turned on the light, and, well, you know, if I'd say I want nuclear power plants shut down right now, I'd be contradicting my fucking self. That's basically that. So then, what is my take on the situation? Should we just go and use nuclear power forever? No, I don't think so either, because using nuclear power is pretty much like playing Russian roulette. Either you're lucky for a while, or you'll end up shooting yourself in the head. Basically, it's like that. So what we're actually supposed to do is invest money in the new forms of energy, in the safe forms of energy. Like, for example, we can use the power from the nuclear fusion reactor that kills a couple of thousand people a day, but we cannot do anything against it, as it is our center star. It is called the sun. Now, it is a nuclear fusion reactor, and it's sending out a lot of power, which we might use, because we cannot do anything against it anyway. We cannot shut it down. So let's make use of the sun, for example. Let's make use of the giant fission reactor, the giant uranium reactor we're all sitting on. That is planet Earth, indeed, because there are no speculations, or, well, a lot of reasonable scientists believe that our planet is still liquid inside and we have a magnetic field and all, due to natural uranium fission occurring within our planet. So other planets have gone cold, while ours is still warm and liquid inside. And that's partly, at least partly, due to the fission of uranium atoms as well. There used to be nuclear fission reactors in Gabon, in Africa. There were natural nuclear fission reactors that produced plutonium and stuff as well, and they ran for a couple 100,000 of years. It just happened naturally, way before humans invented nuclear power or plutonium or whatever. Plutonium is a natural isotope. It's nothing that humans produced, so just as a short fact. But anyway, all that stuff within our planet produces energy. It's called geothermal energy. Oh my god, I have problems with the TH. Excuse me, I'm German. Anyway, so we might make use of that. We might make use of wind power. We might research quite safe thorium reactors. We might research fusion, nuclear fusion, like the sun does, but on a smaller scale. But the thing is, basically the thing is that currently my government, that is the Chancellor Merkel and stuff, they basically pay the nuclear lobby for nothing. Like, they get shitloads of money and you don't know what the hell they're even getting it for. It's like, so much money goes into those fucking companies that just put up all those power plants and claim to be running them safely or whatever, and they just pump shitloads of money into them without any reason. And they call that a bridge technology. Yeah, I do agree. We do need a bridge technology. We do need to keep our nuclear power plants for a while, because otherwise, well, I told you what's going to happen. Either if all of Europe shuts them down, we're going to have serious power issues, or if just Germany shuts them down, we're just going to make fools of ourselves and end up buying nuclear power from, for example, France. So the thing is, what the point basically is, we need some time to research, for example, but also to set up green, eco, safe power, whatever you want to call it. Like, why don't we force, for example, the power companies that supply all those nuclear power plants to actually get like a black zero at the end of the year, to not make so much profit, but to actually force them to pump their profit into, for example, subventioning the solar cells, like photovoltaic power for every household, for example. That would be a start. Or we could research ways to actually save energy for a longer time, because the problem is, if it's a night, that means no sunshine, and it's wind still, and you have wind power plants and solar power plants, it can't really be that. The power will just go out, of course. So we need to research ways to store energy as well as generate them in safe ways. So that's basically it. And what I really need to say, especially to the people in Germany, to my neighbors basically, really think about what you vote for during the next elections, because okay, I really think I need to put this in German. We'll translate right afterwards, just so they understand, people in my country actually understand. Also Leute, denkt einfach mal darüber nach, wen ihr wählt. Weil Schwarz-Gelb beispielsweise, Atomlobby, die verarschen euch von wegen Brückentechnologie. Die wollen das Zeug wahrscheinlich am besten für immer laufen lassen, solange es irgendein Scheißgeld für irgendwelche Scheißkonzerne generiert. So ist es einfach. Aber auf der anderen Seite, wenn ihr jetzt irgendwie die Grünen wählt, von wegen Kernkraftwerke sofort abschalten innerhalb von 1 bis 2 Jahren, dann sitzt ihr wirklich zu Hause, verarscht euch selber, denkt, ach, wie schön ist es, dass jetzt endlich die Atomkraft abgeschaltet ist. Wunderbar. Und in Wirklichkeit, anstatt aus dem 600 Kilometer entfernten Kernkraftwerk in Süddeutschland, bekommt ihr euren Atomstrom dann aus dem 600 Kilometer entfernten Atomkraftwerk in Frankreich. Da verarscht ihr euch wirklich nur selber. Das wäre dann auf gut Deutsch die gleiche Scheiße in grün. Und zwar in more than one way, sozusagen. Ihr wisst, was ich meine. Also bitte denkt darüber nach. Ich weiß auch, ehrlich gesagt, nicht wen ich wählen würde. I'll switch back to English now. I wouldn't know who I'd vote for. Seriously. Like, I can no way support the current government because they're full of shit. They are supporting the lobby and all of that shit. But the Green Party is just the same shit. They're making profit out of the fear of people. They're like, oh, we'll shut down the nuclear power plants immediately. And then people will sit at home and actually get the nuclear power from another country like France and fool themselves into being safe while they're not. Because if a power plant in southern Germany, 600 kilometers away from me, explodes, it's the same as if a nuclear power plant 600 kilometers to my west in France explodes. So, seriously, I don't know who I'd vote for, because they're all full of shit. The Green Party are full of shit. The current government is full of shit. I don't know what to vote for. But please, don't let yourselves be ruled by money, and don't let yourselves be ruled by fear. It's important. Really. Stop being ignorant. Learn, educate yourself, and make a wise decision. That's all I can say. Thanks for listening.